Hey, hello, good afternoon, everybody. It's Rafael Vázquez. I will not say, Melocchi Master or Melocchi Technique or anything as such because apparently it offends people. Um, with this video, I just wanted to say that I'm going to change the format of the channel, because when I created this channel was actually to illustrate people in the technique that I learned, what was passed on to me, and actually I'll briefly explain to you how it was passed on to me. A technique that helped me a lot and is helping currently many others, but what I am not willing to, how could I say, cope with is trolling and discrediting. I sorry. I mean, this is not what this is about. I can accept um, a constructive sort of criticism. Uh, a piece of construct. Uh, Such as, I don't know, when somebody told me, hey, you were flat on that F. Okay, yeah, nobody's perfect. Or okay, well, it sounds a bit strained here and there. Yeah, maybe nobody's perfect. But what I will not accept is cruelty. People saying that because of health issues, which yes, I had in the past, and that's why I retired. My middle voice is totally destroyed. That my, I don't know, my high C is like totally, and it's like a war. Like a war. No, excuse me. My singing career was fantastic. It was very stressful, um, and I don't want that in my life anymore. So either I close the channel or I just people react in different ways, because otherwise I'm tired of blocking people and deleting comments. um, I appreciate very much the support from many of you. Actually, I receive emails constantly from people abroad that eventually many of them they end by studying with me, and it's pretty cool. But I am not, I'm not gonna enter in, I'm not gonna enter in that game of backstabbing. And so that being said, I will tell you a little bit more about my how could I say, my development as a singer, how I started, and what was the tipping point of basically my vocal development. I started as an amateur when I was in Spain. I was a lawyer. Yeah. So at the age of 23, I finished my law degrees, and I continued with some master degrees. At that time, I was sort of a folk singer, uh, a bit like Juan Diego Flores, with the guitar in a different way. And my friends always, said, "Oh, you have a nice voice. You should try out." And so I participated in a couple of competitions. I can really remember, and I won the prize. Like the soloist prize, and that got me interested in singing. So the first teacher I had was in Madrid. We're talking 1996, maybe. Um, and to be honest, I did I learn anything? Well, yes, I learned that your voice must come out somehow, right? You must produce your voice. It was very much sort of a Croatian, mask sort of orientated type of technique. That it was what was available at the time. And yeah, I believe he did help me, but I was more of a natural singer. I just did whatever. And um, to cut things short, then I moved to the UK, where I tried to continue my amateur sort of adventure in singing. And I joined some sort of chorus at the University of Nottingham, in which I was lecturing in environmental law, but my passion was already singing and stuff. So I joined that, and it didn't work out very well. I did an audition for Gilbert and Sullivan, a Gilbert and Sullivan piece. I can't really remember what it was. We're talking about the year 2000, maybe. No, not even 1999. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So yeah. Apparently my voice was too big. Okay. So then one day I was just walking around the streets of Nottingham, and I found an advert of a singing teacher, so singing tuition, and there was this soprano that her name was Linda Gerard, and basically I went there, in the middle of nowhere, right? In the Midlands, it's a rainy day, whatever. So I went there, and I just did what I knew how to do. At that time, I didn't know how to read music. I didn't know basically anything about anything. And yeah, apparently she was impressed by my potential. And after like 3 lessons with her, she told me, "Listen, there's nothing I can do for you." I was like, "Wow, okay, so what do I do?" And then she told me, "Well, you must go to my teacher, Pamela Cook, God bless her, and you take it from there." And I said, "Oh, hey, this is getting too serious. I am a lawyer. I'm a professor at the University of Nottingham, and what is this about?" So anyway, I went to see Pamela Cook, which was quite intimidating, I must say. It was very, very intimidating. And after one lesson with my dearest Pamela, basically, she told me, "Hey, do you want to do this?" I want to do this. What do you mean? I said, "Do you want to become a professional singer?" And to be honest, maybe unconsciously I had been thinking about it, but I never really, thought about it. And I said, "Wow," I was like overwhelmed. And my answer was, "Well, do you think I can do it? Do you think I have, what it takes?" And she told me, "Yes. You must work very hard. Obviously, you have previous education, but hey." So we worked very hard for a few months, and trying to polish a bit that wild horse that I was. At the same time, I tried to do my best with the solfeggio part. And eventually she got me an audition at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London, which is a very prestigious school in Europe and in the world, especially the vocal department. So there I was. I got an audition with a wonderful, wonderful man called Robin Bowman, who is now retired, and he was the head of the vocal studies or vocal department. At that time, the only things I sang were Rigoletto, Traviata, and of course Pamela Cook. She wanted to refine me a bit and prepare me for school, so I sang I think a couple of Bellini composizioni da camera songs, Il fervido desiderio, and I believe there was another one called Per pietà bellido il mio, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I did what I knew how to do, or what to do. I just blasted it out, you know, with Questa Quella. And then I sang one of those Bellini things, and of course I was hoping, you know, well, needless to say that I didn't sleep the night before. I was in London, man, and I was auditioning for this school. This was a big, like, kind of surreal dream. Anyway, so to my surprise, Robin Bowman must have liked something of what he heard, because he immediately said, "Hey, wait a minute, okay? Would you wait a minute?" I said, "Yes, sure." So he brought another guy in. This person was Clive Timms. If you ever see this video, either you, Robin, or Clive, thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. So he brought Clive Timms. Clive Timms was the head of the opera department. So there I was, you know, somebody that basically didn't know how to read music, that had been studying seriously for not even a year, maybe, or anyway. What did I do? I just blasted my Rigoletto, I blasted my Traviata, and then I, you know, sang one of those Bellini songs. So yeah, I mean, the guy's face showed some approval, right? He didn't say much, but anyway, what Robin Bowman said is, I mean, the audition, I believe, was around May. Yeah, I would say May, April, May. And he said to me, "Okay, well, I want you here in September." I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you want me to? You want me to study here at the Guildhall? Are you nuts? You're right." I mean, and I said, "Yes. Previously, you know, before that, I want you to do like a summer camp, a summer school in Abingdon, which I enjoyed very much." So that was in June, I believe, where I met you know, people that have I don't know, yeah, have been an icon in my life, such as Sue McCulloch. So I did you know, this summer school in which, you know, I had to prepare chansons françaises. I had to you know, I had to prepare a few things, and I had to, like, prepare myself for academic life. And in September, I started my studies there. Now, there is a very important piece of information that happened in Abingdon. Adrian Thompson, who is an amazing English tenor, an amazing teacher, was there giving a master class. And I obviously participated in that master class, and I sang, again, Questa Quella. And he seemed impressed with my voice, and what he told me is, you need somebody to take care of you. I would never forget that. You need somebody to take care of you, and that got, like, you know, stuck in the back of my head. So after Abingdon, I went back to my dearest Pamela Cook, and I said, "Hey, listen, this is what's cooking, right? I mean, I'm joining the Guildhall, and there's this guy called Adrian Thompson. He's a vocal teacher, he's a voice teacher there, and he wants to take care of me." And of course, you know, everybody knew everybody in the business. And she said, "Okay, I think Adrian is a very good choice. Why, yeah, go ahead, you know, go and study with him." Anyway, so I started the Guildhall, and wow, it was just a whole new world. I don't know if, you know, anybody here has gone through music college and so on. It's kind of crazy, but I did what I had to do, and I learned. I mean, the Guildhall was amazing. It was really the best place ever. I know that Juilliard must be amazing, but this was amazing. Anyway, I graduated, you know, the BMAS and stuff, and then I I did I joined the post diploma in vocal training, PDVT. But during that time, I got an offer already to debut in which would be my first professional engagement, my debut, which was the Zauberflöte, the magic flute, in the B cast, and as a cover for um, the A cast, right? So I was singing Tamino. Needless to say, I didn't know any German at the time. I hadn't studied German, and well, I got, because of I attended all the rehearsals and stuff. So I missed a quarter of my masters. But I finished. I almost had to do the premiere because the main tenor had a food poisoning the night before the premiere, and actually I hadn't had a full orchestra rehearsal with with the conductor and stuff. So I had sang a couple of bits and pieces, but I hadn't had a run through. And in fact, I had never sang fully with an orchestra. And there I was. Eventually, I had to perform, and I performed the magic flute, and I'm really proud of that performance. And there is a recording of that, and on YouTube, at least. I think the Zu Hilfe part is I based my performance on Wunderlich, because I really love this voice, so I wanted to sing it in an Italian way. Anyway, that very year, I also made my debut in a concert in Covent Garden, And why I'm saying this? Well, I'm saying this because by achieving these two things, not only getting into this massive school with a scholarship and all that, but by making my professional debut with a small size company, but my professional debut nevertheless with less than a year or 2 years of training, and getting a gig in Covent Garden in one of the main halls. My family was convinced that this was not something irrelevant, so this was serious. Anyway, I studied at the Guildhall. I completed my master's degree. Then I passed on into completing what they call the opera course, which is another master's degree that lasted for 2 years. In that, during the first year, we did small roles for the operas that they were performing in the second year, and at the same time we did like a opera scene program in which there were concerts concentrated on big you would perform a big scene or an act of an opera and stuff. It was very thorough education, very good. By that time, I was considered sort of a light lyric tenor. I experimented a lot with Rossini and Mozart and Donizetti, Bellini, and a little bit of Verdi right at the end, and Gounod. Okay, but I came out of school being sort of a lyric tenor, slightish lyric tenor. So we're talking 2005. I finished all my London education, and I debuted in Così fan tutte, directed by none other than Thomas Allen. What can I say? Just my God, that was amazing. And it was with actually the conductor was Haselmeyer. Yeah, very, 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 very good. Incredible. I learned an awful lot. It was a fantastic production. And after that, well, for some reason or another, I couldn't continue in London, so I moved to Ghent, Gond, to basically join the opera studio there, the Flemish opera studio. It's a nice experience. By that time, I was going back and forth, still standing with Adrian Thompson and Sue McCulloch. And well, needless to say that during that time, I was doing concerts all over the place every summer. I would go with my dearest Emanuele Maurice to Città Sant'Angelo and Pescara, and we would do concerts and scenes and whatnot. So anyway, Belgium. Okay, I decided to stay in Belgium. There, my voice started to go a bit towards the heavier sort of repertoire, and I sang things such as Carmen. Yeah, before that, at the Guildhall, I had done Mignon, I had done L'Espagnol, I had done I don't know. I'm talking from, but anyway, at the opera studio, I prepared Die Tote Stadt, and I prepared and sang Carmen, and a number of other pieces. And it was time to choose. It was time to look for agents. It was time to look for things. But now enough. Enough about repertoire and stuff, because this video is not about that. So one day I was still in Ghent, and this guy comes to me and says, I think your top is okay, but your middle voice and your low range is out of whack, is not in the right place. Why don't you visit my teacher in The Hague? I mean, this guy studied with Mario del Monaco, and he's the shit, right? He's it. He even has Mario del Monaco's boots right in his studio. Well, I had nothing to lose, to be honest, because I was kind of desperate. I didn't have a job. I had tried to get agents but it didn't work out. It didn't work out. There was something missing. So I decided to visit this guy. I should do a video alone about the first McRae lesson, because the experience was breathtaking. I had never ever heard anything like that in my life. There was a guy singing, preparing Othello at the time. I don't remember the name of the guy, I'm sorry. He will jump. He was a Dutch guy. The voice was so big that I swear that the door of the studio was vibrating. It was huge. It was massive. I was like, I didn't know how that was possible. Of course, I had heard recordings of Corelli and Del Monaco and all these people, but I couldn't grasp that actually that was real. Somebody could sing like that live with that volume and that sort of compact sound. And so James McCray, he was such a gentleman. He introduced himself to me, and I attended, the rest of the lesson with this guy, and then I attended, I was there, listening to another friend of mine, dear friend of mine, Timothy Simpson, singing again, huge, massive voice, beautiful, compact. And finally it was my turn, and I said, okay, well, sing something for me. I was like, yeah, right. You see, after these two mammoths having sung whatever, what the hell am I going to do? So I just sang, I don't know, Una furtiva lagrima, because it was good, uh, I don't know, aria I had in my pocket. So, all right, so halfway through the aria, the guy said, okay, stop. And I said, yeah. So he said, what is the rest? The rest of what? So what is the rest of your voice? Because you're singing with, the tip of the iceberg, basically. It's like, and I said, well, I don't know how to do otherwise. This is my voice. And he said, no, this is not your voice. This is the voice that, somebody told you that it was your voice, but your voice is not. This is not your voice. Anyway, I swear that after one lesson that lasted for hours to an end, I don't know, it got dark, 3 hours maybe or something, my voice was never the same. I ended by doing passages of Rigoletto with him. My voice had already, I don't know, my true voice came out. So what I then did basically was, for the first, I would say, 2 years of following 2 years, I lived in McRae's studio, and I had lessons with him from Monday to Friday. So that's 5 lessons a week. Yeah. And then eventually I moved out and I found myself an apartment. I got rid of the apartment in Kent, and and then I started having almost 5 lessons a week. If there were not 5, there were 3 or there were 4 with him and his wife, Prisrenka, or Zenia, and that was it. That was my tuition, right, with McRae. Now, what happened? Why did I leave? Well, I left because I started developing health problems, health issues with acid reflux, and I went from doctor to doctor, and nobody could give me an answer. So in Germany, because I was singing already in Germany, I had made my debut in Ballo in Maschera. Some doctor told me, well, we can't find anything. This must be because of your vocal technique. And you know what happens when you're psychologically all over the place. You blame whatever. If a doctor and 5 doctors, they told you that there is nothing, and I was suffering, and my voice was suffering, and I was in decline, and it was not working, and then I said, okay, it must be the technique. So I went to The Hague, and I told him, hey, this is not working. And I said to James, I said, this is not working. I don't know why, but this is not working. So I'm going to take a break. And that was it. And I took a break. And the rest is history. So if somebody is going to question me, that I don't know what the Melocchi, right, from somebody, you have to remember that McRae studied with Del Monaco himself in his house in Pesaro, firsthand. And yes, maybe he experienced as well with Stanley's technique, with the same of the brothers Lo Monaco. Well, I'm sorry guys, but if there is somebody that really learned everything that James had to teach, I am one of them. And that's what I teach. And of course, I do not work my voice. I don't practice. I don't, because I'm no longer a singer. I'm a teacher. And I do these tutorials to illustrate, and maybe my voice is not as fresh as when I was singing. But I will not tolerate people questioning my credibility, or I will not tolerate lack of respect. I can tolerate, as I said, constructive criticism. So from now on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my tutorials, and I'm gonna enable or actually disable, the comment section, and I'll just write down my email, so in case anybody is interested or has any questions or doubts, they can email me directly. Why? Because I am not doing this to please anybody. I don't want to make money with this. I don't want to be a YouTuber and monetize my videos or anything. I'm not interested, at least. Not interested at all. I just want to maybe help people and help myself, because this helps me stay in touch with this. I survived a stomach cancer that was causing my voice to decline, and in the middle I got entangled in the confusion that it was the technique that, of course, didn't cause cancer or anything as such, and I lost basically my the relationship with my dear James McCray, who sadly passed in 2018, 31st January 2018, and I needed a third person to actually tell me that, when I had been basically family to these people. No harsh feelings. So that's the video for today. Sorry, it's been 32 minutes. Wow, must be all sleeping. So yeah, that's what is gonna happen from now on. I will continue doing my tutorials, and then if you want anything, need anything, you just email me, and okay, and then I can read your criticism in private, privately or something, or I can try to I don't know, have a proper conversation or discussion or whatever you want to call it privately. But honestly, I don't need the stress, okay? And I know that if this continues like that, I am going to just stop doing this. And I know that there are some people that enjoy them. That's why I get subscribers every week, and so on and so forth, and people contacting me, and I have students all over the globe, from Hong Kong, Miami, France, Germany, Italy, and I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, Spain, yeah. So anyway, that's all for today. It was kind of a I wanted to give it all out. My performances as a singer are somewhere in YouTube. Yeah, there's another channel. If you have noticed, I have removed most of my performances, because this channel is not about me performing, it's me teaching and sharing technical resources. And well, that's all for today. I will maybe leave the comments open for this video, unless again I find something that it's not really to my liking. I consider that is out of place. And that's for today. That's all for today. Yeah, God bless you all. Have a great weekend. Thank you for listening. All right, take care. Bye now. Bye.